GPS, your guidance system for life. All right? Now, yeah, as Evan's doing, can you kind of bring your hoods down a little bit because I want you to really focus here. We're looking in the mirror today, being proud of the leader you are becoming. Take control of your life, right? Alright, so we've been using that theme about the man in the mirror, the person in the mirror, right? Because when you can look in the mirror and be proud of who you're becoming, right? You're not perfect, but you're priceless, right? And so if you're proud of who you are, of what your dreams are, right? You're starting to believe in yourself, right? Today's going to be a powerful day to say, can I stay on track? Or will I get distracted? So if you remember last time, we said you can't hit a target you don't have, right? It's so important to set goals, achieve those goals, right? And we'll tell you how your body actually responds to that. And then just keep setting more goals, right? Keep growing your abilities, you're growing your skill set, growing your confidence, right? Moving towards your amazing future. So we asked you last time, as you're going through this process of taking control of your life and dreaming big, could you encourage someone else to do the same, to get them focused, right? So did anyone have a chance to encourage someone, Andrew? Who do you encourage?
My sister.
Okay, what does she want to be someday?
Makeup artist.
Makeup artist, right? So when you tell her, hey, you do great at that, right? She starts to say, wow, maybe I could, right? She starts to believe in herself. Christopher, you encourage anyone?
Yes, I did. I encourage one of my friends that was going through a hard time.
Okay.
Like keep on pursuing what he has, but just strive to do better.
That's right. Don't give up. Can do, right? Evan, do you encourage anybody?
My girlfriend.
Yeah, what does she want to be?
Psychologist.
Psychologist. Wow. That could be another powerful, right?
Yeah.
All right. And Isaiah, did you get to encourage anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. And what does he want to be someday? A mechanic? Cool. All right. So again, helping people to think about their future in a positive way. Dakota, did you get to encourage anyone?
Yeah.
Who? And what does she want to be?
She wanna be
So she's going to join the one-stop shopping place, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's great. So we're going to explain today how you think. What you think will determine how you feel. All right? If you're thinking positive thoughts, your brain produces positive chemicals. But if you're thinking negative, right, you'll depress yourself, you'll set chemicals in your brain that will continue to create that kind of reality. So the way you think often creates your reality, right? That's why it's so important to take control of your thoughts. So, as we were talking about last time, having a vision for your life that balances the things in your life, that you know your priorities, right? But what can happen is people sometimes get distracted, right? So we want them to remember the way to stay focused is the be, do, have, right? You focus on who you want to be, then you stay prioritizing the things you want to do. When we talk about time management here today, you have 24 hours. Everyone has the same 24 hours. But what you do with your 24 hours will determine whether you're successful or not. Okay? It's your choice. So then, getting to the have is then the fruit. Hey, Noah, can you sign in here, bro?
Oh, I don't have his book out.
Yeah. So when you then make good decisions, you're going to have the things that the money can't buy. The sense of satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment, and guess what that does to your brain? It releases positive brain chemicals. So we're going to get all into that, how your body works. Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, 5. Right here behind you. All right, so we always start off, remember, asking ourselves this question. Dakota, can you change your past? What can you change? The future, right? And yet, girl, how do you get from today to your amazing future? What does it look like?
A straight line.
A straight line. So that's what we're trying to get you into, right? That kind of thinking, the straight line, moving to your career. And as you think more about your career, you've got a great resource here, Mr. Allen, right? Who can help you better define that straight line. Because if you're not thinking about that straight line, you can be easily distracted, right? So today we're going to talk about the distraction of not managing yourself, right? You've got to manage yourself. It's a lifelong journey. The sooner you learn how to do that, the fruit that you'll have for the rest of your life will be amazing. And we're going to share with you all those possibilities. So today is a huge day, all right? Could be a breakthrough day for you. Could even save your life. So with that in mind, we think of 3D, right? 3D movie. How many seen a 3D movie? right? Instead of a flat screen, it looks like it has depth, like it's coming out to you, like it's alive, right? Well, that's what our 3T does. The 3 T's will bring your life to life if you can manage these 3 aspects of your life. Managing your time, temptation, and treasure. Now, why are those 3 the most important? Well, because of time. If you waste time, can you ever get it back? No, it's a precious resource. And I talk to people later in life, and they look back and they say, oh, I wasted so much time. And you know where they wasted the most time? Your age. Teenage, college, right in that, where you're kind of getting focused on what you can do with your life. And if you waste it away, you never can get it back, right? So we're giving you the tools so you don't have any regrets. Later in life, you'll look back and say, man, I just nailed it. I was right focused on track. I'm not perfect, right? But I did a lot of good things that have produced great fruit in my life. Wouldn't it be great to live without regrets? Yeah, but unfortunately a lot of people do, right? So that's why we're sharing you with these tools. We're excited, we're passionate about it, right? So today is a powerful day. The second one, avoiding temptations. Temptations are things that are generally not good for you, right? So right goes in here, right? 3D, 3T, right? Get yourself focused, get yourself in learning mode here, get your head into the game, right? This is important because if you allow temptations to distract you, it not only can get you off the path to your amazing future and your dreams, it can actually destroy your life. So you know about addictions and things. We're going to be talking more about that today. So managing temptations is an important part of managing yourself, okay? And then the last one, your treasure, right? You got to know how to manage your money and resources. Now again, we know that money is not the goal in life. It's a tool, right? You use money to get the things you need to, right? To accomplish your goals, to get the education, whatever it is. So money's a tool. It's not an end in itself. Because if it does, if money becomes the end goal, you're going to live a miserable life, right? Because you can never accomplish, you'll never have enough money. You know, Elon Musk has billions of dollars. But if he didn't have things that helped him feel like he's had a sense of purpose and direction, he'd be miserable with those billions of dollars. Poor guy, right? So we're going to manage our time, temptation, treasure. All right? So the first thing we're going to dive right in is to your time. Now, I get paid $2,000, $5,000 a day to do time management in companies. Why would they pay me so much money to talk about time? Because time is money, right? In business, if you use your time wisely, you're going to beat the competition, right? But if you don't use your time wisely, you're going to be beat, right? It's all about your effectiveness and using your time wisely. So, we're going to give you professional time management training. And this is what I give to presidents and vice presidents of companies. You're going to get it right now, okay? You're going to love it or your money back. Well, if you didn't pay for it, but that's okay, right? All right, so we're going to divide our time that we spend into 4 categories. The first category, right, you want to write in here, is must-dos. They're urgent and important. So a must-do is something that you're scheduled for, and you need to show up for it and do your very best, because there's consequences if you don't do it, right? So like, for instance, you're scheduled to be at school. If you don't show up for school, what happens? Yeah, you're going to get bad grades, you're not going to accomplish your goals. If you made it a habit, then you're going to have truancy issues, all sorts of things, right? But in life, jobs, you don't show up for your job, what's going to happen?
Get fired.
Yeah, they're going to say, hey, obviously you don't really care about this job. We'll find someone who does, right? Who wants to get paid for this job. So must-dos, getting used to disciplining yourself to do what you need to do to be successful is important. So these are things that are deadline-driven and scheduled, right? Coming to Character GPS, right, has been a must-do for you guys who are serious about your life, right? Because we're giving you all the secret sauce to being successful. You're going to get it now so you can use it for your benefit. All right? But there's other things that are urgent, but they're less important. And those are distractions. So you ever get text messages or calls from people and they want you to drop everything because they want you to do something, right? But it may not be important to you. But sometimes you feel pressured, right? And so you kind of give in to them as opposed to saying, hey, you know, I'm in the middle of something that's really important, but when I get done, I'll give you a call at lunchtime, right? You schedule with people. You don't let them bully you or pressure you into doing something that isn't in your best interest, right? So we got to find win-win again in working things out. So distractions can be a problem if you let them be, right? Next category up here, preparation. preparation, it's important, right? You need to prepare to be successful in life. And you know the saying, practice makes perfect, right? So preparation are those things that you do, so when you're prepared for the must-dos in life, you're successful, right? So like sports coaches will say, I could tell if my team was going to win the game in the must-do because how well they practiced all week. Does that make sense? So they practiced hard, they were ready in the must-do to do their very best. You study for a test, you ace the test, right? See how that works? You prepare, and then you're ready to do your best in life, right? But if you don't prepare, if you just show up, are you going to do your best?
No.
Probably not, right? So this is why you want to set yourself up for success. So preparation is really important, but it's not urgent. So people, if they don't discipline themselves, it doesn't happen, right? Because it's not scheduled, right? There's not the structure. You have to create your own structure for preparation. But when you practice, you take care of your body, right? You're priceless, so you want to take care of your body, you want to exercise, get sleep, eat right, then you're able to do your very best, all right? But the last category is kind of puzzling because it's in the less urgent and it's less important. Why would you spend your valuable time doing something that's not urgent and not important? Because it's fun. You escape from your life, right? Now, if you don't like your life, then this is where people spend time, escaping from it, right? But we're helping you make your life so great with the dreams that you have, the things you're accomplishing, that you say, I don't want to escape from my dream. It's too good, right? But people find fantasy, right? It's not reality, it's fantasy. So all the time you spend in escapism, does it help your life? No, but it will suck everything out of your life, your time, your money, your energy, right? So if you don't manage this, it can ruin your life. See what I'm saying? Some people allow their addictions and escapism to control their life so much that they don't have a life anymore, right? They're just barely surviving, if that at all. And it affects them and, of course, all the people around them. Okay? So we're going to have you do a quick exercise. So Miss Debbie's got 4 Post-it notes next to you. So find those, okay? I want you to write 4 activities you spend the most time on when you're not in school and you're not sleeping. So if you're free time, how do you spend your time? We're going to help you analyze it, okay? So 1 activity per Post-it note. You're not sleeping, you're not at school, what do, right? Now some of you have a job. That takes up some time, right? Some of you have chores, sometimes you have activities, whatever it is, write 4, 1 per Post-it note. We're going to help you analyze how well am I spending my time as a valuable resource that I can never get back if I waste it.
So we put all the 4 squares on.
No, just write the activity, 1 per Post-it note, and then we're going to classify into those 4 categories. Okay, so just write 1 activity per Post-it note. So just 1 thing, and then peel that off and go to the next one. Right, so 1 per Post-it note. So that way you can classify it. All right, so just kind of getting you to think about your life. Instead of just living your life, sometimes we have to stop and think about your life, right?
You don't have to tell them.
Yeah, so 4 activities. Just write down where you spend your time, and we'll help you analyze it.
Cause I do stuff,
Just
but
if,
You don't want to share.
yeah, just put a label on it. You're not gonna have to share it if you don't want to. Okay, this is for your analysis. Okay, whatever the activity is. Okay. All right.
Put a code word or something.
I'm just not gonna put it.
Okay, choose something else for time.
If you're spending time at it, though, it's important to recognize that that is time spent, okay? Because it's going to be important to your analysis of your behavior or what habits you might need to change. All right, so if you've had a chance now to write 4 Post-it notes, okay? So let's now analyze must-dos. Did one of your top 4 activities, was it a must-do, something scheduled, and something important enough that if you don't do it, there's a consequence? So Christopher, what's one of yours?
Work.
Work.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can put that Post-it note on your page, just put it on the must-do, right? You're classifying that. So work is important, right?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
You gotta be there, you're scheduled, right? You let down Chick-fil-A and people don't get those delicious sandwiches.
You gotta
That's-
answer to his dad.
That should be like a crime, right? Okay, anyways, all right. Any other must-dos other than work?
School.
Okay, now, this is other than school, but school work. So you gotta, if you're doing some homework or research, that could be a must-do, right? Because it's maybe a deadline driven, you have to have it done by a certain time, but you don't do it at school, you do it outside of school. Okay.
Chores.
Okay, now chores, unless they're scheduled, like making dinner, because you're gonna have dinner at a certain time. Most of your chores though, cleaning the bathroom, cutting the yard, it's more of a preparation. You're preparing to make sure that your environment stays clean, organized, right? You know, if you have to walk the dog at a certain time, maybe that could be then a must-do. Otherwise, it's more in the preparation category, okay? Okay, so that's why it's important to classify where you think it goes, all right? So any other must-dos, anything else you have scheduled that you have to be somewhere, a club, a sports activity, you know, whatever it might be that you're scheduled, then that's a must-do, right? Because you don't show up, they'll kick you off the team, right? Say, hey, you're not serious, we can't count on you, we'll find other people to play whatever you're doing that really this matters to them, okay? All right, now, preparation, as Yadra was talking about, is all the other things you do in your life to take care of yourself, to take care of your home, right? So again, eating, exercise, you know, stretching, going to the doctors, you know, of course, that could be a must-do if it's scheduled, right? But things that you do to take care of yourself, right? So we try to get outside, Miss Debbie and I fixed the bikes up over spring break, so we're getting out, getting some good exercise, that kind of stuff. So whatever you do to prepare, right? You're helping out at home, right? You're preparing relationships. You spend time with your family. All that would be preparation, right? Because if you have good relationships with who you live with, then life is better, okay? All right, now, distractions. Did anyone have any distractions where you spend time doing what other people want you to do? Hanging out, just kind of being there for other people when it's not really that important. Anyone have any distractions like that? Social media, right? That could be one here, right? You're just kind of finding out what's going on and so on, right? Gossiping, you know, what's the latest, greatest kind of going thing, right? Now, the real distraction, though, if it becomes a habit, and we'll talk about it as an addiction, would be escapism, where you're playing like computer games and you got to get to the next level. It's hard for you to stop. All right? Does anyone have any escapism that they participate in? You know, we had like our teacher at the other school, she said, Netflix.
Yeah.
Said, yeah, there's a good one. You know, what do you have, Noe?
There's collecting.
Collecting?
Yeah, 'cause I collect games, books, and cards.
Oh.
Okay, now if it's a hobby, it could be a preparation. If it's relaxing, if something you invest in, maybe you do it with another friend or something, where you build relationships, that could be a preparation. But if it becomes extreme, like our friend Bob Bradshaw, he's into fantasy baseball, and it's like all consuming. We have a commissioner, and you have to buy and trade players and all this stuff, and it's like this whole fantasy world. I said, Bob, come back to reality.
He's so smart.
But he's talking about my fantasy team. I lost one of my players. My life's ruined. Your life's fine.
He was a lawyer. He
I have
was
some friends like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like guys, just be
Please.
quiet. Like, it's not that important. Like, shut up. I don't want
It's
to.
not-
Yeah. So entertainment is supposed to be just
Yeah.
entertaining. It's not supposed
Not
to
stressful.
impact and
It's
create
like-
stress in your life, right? Okay, so have you taken all four of your activities? Have you placed them in one of the four boxes, all right? So you're able to do that?
You could stick it right on the page.
Yeah. So just write on the page, put it in the four boxes. What you've just done now is you've analyzed your time. So, we did this, for instance, last semester. We had larger classes and stuff. We took a little more time to do it. So this was an outcome for one of the West University classes. We won't say which one it was, right, Mr. Allen? But
Yes.
you might
One of
notice,
those.
though, we gave the pink to the ladies and the blue to the men, right? And the idea is to spend more time on important things and less time on unimportant things, or less important, right? So how do you think this group did of putting their time to more important things? Not so good, right? In fact, they only had a few must-dos, right? So what did they spend most of their time on? and escapism, right? So when you look at that, like, I think you could do better, right? Spending too much time in fantasy world, you start to lose track of what's really important in your life, your real life that you're trying to invest in, right? So the idea is to invest your time in your real life. So what do? If you prepare, like for sports, where you're building team skills and exercise and helpful team dynamics, because you're going to use teamwork in your life, then when you prepare, then you win. So winning teams love to prepare because they love to win. And when they win, what does it do? It motivates them to want to do more preparation, right? So when like the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, when they won championship the first time, it motivated them, hey, we're going to repeat. Then we're going to three-peat, right? And then Michael Jordan got a little burned out, went to play baseball for a while, then came back again, and they won championship, and then they repeated, they three-peated. It hasn't been done since, right? But this is the flow. You create good luck when you prepare for the must-dos in life. Make sense? So like right now, you guys are preparing to get your diploma, so you can go to college, you can get a job, right? So all this preparation is going to help you with the must-dos in life. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. But if you waste your time, you'll never get it back. You invest in fantasy, like I was saying with the fantasy baseball, they start affecting their lives. They get depressed and upset and all of these things that aren't important, right? So they kind of make their lives worse instead of better, right? This is the risk of being in fantasy, okay? You see what I'm saying? So this is important that you figure this out now, right? Because these habits are gonna carry into your adult life. All right, so what should you do? If you notice that you've got activity in escape and distraction, reinvest. Find something that you can invest that time in preparation. And we're gonna give you some more ideas on that as well as taking care of yourself, good mental health, all those kind of things, right? But this is the flow. You invest in preparation so that when you gotta take the tests in life, whether it's your entrance exams, whether it's your academic tests, or any of the other tests in life, right? Relationships and things like that, right? You'll be prepared for them. So like Mr. Allen and his wife, they got married. They prepared for their marriage, right? And he's a smart guy. He invests in his marriage, right? So it's not like, okay, honey, we're now married, right? They have to keep investing. So Miss Debbie and I, we're married, right? So Miss Debbie gets what every night? A foot rub and a back rub. I'm investing, right? I'm telling her that she's priceless, but I'm also helping her to realize I care about her, right?
Good husband.
That's right. I'm trying to be that's a goal in my life, right? I'm a smart man. Huh? A happy wife means a happy life, guys. It's a principle, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
so,
well.
but this is how we use our time wisely, okay? So, now that we understand that time is so important, because when you put time into something, you start to value it, right? It becomes important to you. So, use your time wisely, build the habits. So, if you're not using your time wisely, do you have the desire to fix that? Yeah. Some people, like they smoke, they know it's bad for them, they know eventually they'll have cancer, but like at your age, they go, hey, that's way in the future, I'm just living for life right now, I don't have a desire to change. And then later in life, when they get emphysema and cancer in their lung, and Miss Debbie's sister just had a third of her lung removed because of lung cancer, she was wishing that she hadn't smoked, that she had stopped when people told her to, right? So, pay me now or pay me later, right? So if you desire, though, you say, I want to have a better life, I'm going to learn how to discipline myself, change those things, and then I can build the habits to be successful, right? But whose choice is it?
Yourself.
It's yours. Because whose life is it? It's yours. The choices you make now will affect the rest of your life. It's all about you. So, if you're willing to buy into what we're sharing with you now, preparation to must-do creates success, right? Distractions and escape leads to failure, right? And Mr. Allen, he'll tell you, hey, we warned you, we tried to get you to do it right, but you chose.
He'll be right back.
Okay, yeah. All right? So the choice is, what do you attach to? If you attach to important things, they're going to add value to your life, you're going to live a great life, right? So you have to be very thoughtful. We're designed to attach to things, even if it's fantasy baseball. But if you attach to the wrong thing and you get too caught up in it, it can affect your life negatively, all right? With me on this, right? Okay, So why don't people then change, their behaviors and set better goals? It takes what? The M word.
Oh,
Motivation, because motivation will cause you to use your time wisely. As long as you're alive, you're spending time. The question is, are you investing your time into something useful, or are you just spending it, right? Like you got money, you go to the store and you just buy something. I just want to spend it, right? But that may not be a good investment. You might have wanted to use that money for something more important later, right? So again, we try to save money, not just spend money. You want to use your time now, every day, focused on your future, and then you'll be so glad you did. So, motivation, what does it take? It takes effort. That's why some people don't want to do it. I don't want to put all that effort in. That's too much work, Mr. Kane, right? They don't want to do the short-term hard to make life long-term easy, right? But if you're willing to do that, you practice doing your best for 30 days, you have the habit of excellence. Say, okay, Mr. Kane, sounds good. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that later, right? And of course, then you develop the habit of procrastination, right? Because there's always another tomorrow, right? But today is what leaders grasp, right? Seize the day. This is the opportunity. Don't say I'll do it tomorrow, do it today. Do your best, right? Now, what's the opposite of that? A lot of people just want the easy way out, right? Do you know people like that? Maybe sometimes you've done that, right? But if you do it for 30 days, you develop the habit of laziness, right? Whose fault is it?
Yourself.
It's yourself. You chose to do it, right? And when you become lazy, then you lack the motivation. You lack the confidence in yourself. You don't want to put the effort in, right? So now the short-term easy becomes long-term hard. And I can tell this to you. I can give you all the examples. But until you buy into it, if you're willing to discipline yourself to put effort into things, that's where the valuable things in life. So again, I married Miss Debbie. I put the effort in, right? And every day I put the effort in. But I'm so glad that I did, right? And we're so glad we wouldn't be here teaching if we weren't working as a team for you, right?
That's right.
So again, this is the opportunity in life. If you're willing to motivate yourself to do the things today. So, it comes down to two basic outcomes. If you're looking always for the easy way out, in your book, we call that compliance mode. It means you're doing the bare minimum, right? Well, what's wrong with the bare minimum? Is that going to get you success? No. Well, okay, well, how do I know, Mr. Kane, I'm in compliance mode? If people have to nag you to do the things you should be doing. If they nag you to do your chores, nag you to do your homework, nag you to go to school, nag you to get to bed, nag you to get up in the morning, right? If other people have to manage you, you're not managing yourself, right? So what does it look like when we choose to manage ourselves? It's commitment mode, right? You go beyond what other people expect. So I love to surprise Miss Debbie, right? I bring her flowers. She likes flowers, right? So if she's having a tough week or something, I'll get her flowers. And she loves the flowers, right? Makes her happy. I love to see her happy, right? But if I did it every day, then it would be expected, right? So it kind of loses that surprise element. So if you can commit to do things and go beyond what other people expect, you're going to wow them, right? Not just wow your spouse, you'll wow your boss. You'll wow your friends, you'll wow your customers, right? And people say, man, you're the best, and they appreciate that, right? And then when you need someone to help you out, you've got people who know you've done good for them. Guess what? They'll do good for you, right? It creates a wonderful life. So commitment mode is where you want to be, right? Invest in your life and your relationships. Do the bare minimum. People don't count on that, right? And eventually, if you do this at your job, the boss doesn't want to micromanage you. They don't want to nag you. They'll get rid of you and get someone else who can, right? So this is a formula for disaster. This is a formula for life, success, the joy and happiness. But it's your choice, right? No one's going to do it to you. It's the outcome of your choices and the habits you create. Okay, you with me on this? Okay, this is huge, guys, right? This is life-changing. So, you come to your iceberg, right? So one of the 16 core values, remember your values are what you make decisions on. If you say, I'm going to have self-control, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to know that I can motivate myself to do things that are important, right? And other people know that. They can count on me. How do I do that? I build the habits, be proactive, put the effort in, courage, commitment, hard work for how many days? 30 days, and now it comes naturally. It's not hard because that's who I am. I'm not faking it. This is what I do, this is what I believe, right? And so if something's happening, people will give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll say, hey, Isaiah, I know you're going to get that done. I believe, I trust in you. I'm not going to sweat it, right? Because he's built a reputation. But if you have a reputation where you're not consistent, where you let people down, the boy who cried wolf, right? They're not going to trust you. And you're not going to get the benefits of believing in yourself, having success, the freedom to do whatever you want, right? And have people to trust you to get it done. You see what we're talking about? So self-control is huge. It's the best gift that you can give yourself. And then it becomes a gift that you give to other people because they know they can count on you. Make sense? So it only comes from your choice. So we can encourage you, we can tell you all the consequences, everything, but you have to say, that's who I want to be. Someone who has control of my choices. All right? And that's going to be so important for this next part here, okay? Because, again, if we practice good character, we take principles that always work, we value them, say that's who I want to be, and we work at them and build the habits so they serve us in life, right? So now, building on that, that's our leadership approach, we're going to talk about temptation, right? We are all tempted. That's a human condition, right? Everyone has been, if they're alive, they've been tempted. So if you see it on the internet, there's a thing called the marshmallow
Don't eat
test.
this yet.
They have little kids,
Don't
and
eat
they
this
give
yet.
them a marshmallow, okay? We're going to give you, simulate, we're going to give
Don't
you
eat it.
a peppermint, okay?
Hold on to this.
A mint. So, the goal
Don't
is
eat
to
it yet.
test to see if the kids have self-control. If they wait, they don't eat the marshmallow right away, because it's all sugary and great, right? If they can wait, they get a second marshmallow. So, do you have self-control? Can you postpone the gratification? So watch with these little kids and then think about yourself, right? What do they do that makes harder to resist the temptation, or what do they do that makes it easier, okay?
So everybody has a minute.
All right, here we go.
Hold on a minute.
There is the marshmallow.
Okay, so that's
These
your.
are little kids, all right?
Alright, here's the deal. Marshmallow for you. You can either wait, and I'll give you another one if you wait, or you can eat it now. When I
And
come
you
back, I'll give you another one, so then you don't have two. But stay in here and stay in the chair till I come back, okay? Alright.
He's watching the door closing. All right, now he's all by himself. Is that a good idea? Smelling your temptation, staring at it, obsessing over it. Say,
I'll
"Bob,
go do
fancy
something, and I'll come
baseball."
back.
It's yummy.
Spoons are funny.
It smells really good.
Oh, he's picking it up. All right, he thought about it. This kid looking away. Is that good? But uh-oh, there's the hand. Hey, you can just pick at your temptation. Like, you can eat one Lay's potato chip, right? Can you eat one Chick-fil-A fry, waffle fry? No, you can't. She's picking at it. Boy, that tastes
It's up to
good.
you. You can have it now, or you can wait. Okay?
Trying to distract himself.
Stay in the
Right?
chair, okay?
This is a really little girl.
You're gonna eat it.
The door closes. All right. Sure looks good. Thinking about doing it? All right, falling in love with this marshmallow. Oh boy. Nibbling away. Oh, that was close.
Alright, so I'm gonna leave and then I'll come
This
back,
is
okay?
really a little
So you
girl.
can either eat it right now or you can wait. Either way, okay?
No self-control. There we go. It's gone.
Reminds me of peppermint hen.
Oh, she's so cute.
How'd you do?
You made it.
Did you do good? You did? You wanted to eat it, didn't you? Yeah. So did I tell you to give you another one? Okay, now you can have both. You can eat them.
Oh. And she crashed and burned. Okay. You get the idea, right? So, what made it hard to resist the temptation? What'd they do?
Wait for another one.
They interacted with it. They gave power, right, to the temptation. They looked at it. They tasted it. They focused on it. They grabbed it, right?
Smelled it.
When you interact with your temptation, it gets worse, right? Think about things that tempt you, right? So if you're tempted, do you have enough self-control to overcome immediate gratification? Now, in our culture, it's like we want everything now. We don't want to wait for anything, right? So, for instance, if you go to the store and there's a big flat screen TV, you say, whoa, that looks great. Oh, I don't have the money for it, but I've got a credit card. Hey, I'll buy it now and I'll pay for it later. Fantasy or reality?
Fantasy.
It's fantasy pretending to be reality. If you don't have the money,
You don't have the
then you go into debt, then you get finance charges, which is what the credit card companies are hoping.
They want.
So remember I told you 75% of Americans are in debt, right? Richest country in the world, we're the most in debt country in the world, right? Because we want it now, right? Very dangerous. As opposed to working for something and then earning it, right? So I had a paper route growing up. Okay, you guys probably know what paper routes were. We delivered newspapers to people's houses, believe it or not, right? And got paid for it. So I saved up my money and got a really nice then bike that I could ride around to do, you know, my route. It was a good investment, right? But I didn't buy it until I had money. I did try. I went to my folks, say, can I borrow the money? They said, no, you're gonna earn it. They want to see if you're gonna stick with your route or not, right? So when you work for something, you appreciate it. I paid for my education, right, at Cornell. I valued it, right? Because it was my money, I was working for it, right? But if you can't control that urge, right, you can become addicted. So we will just conclude in here. My friend Bob Bradshaw is addicted to fantasy baseball, okay? You may not admit it. You guys, though, did everyone leave your peppermint alone? All right, you have passed
You earned
the test, right? So you get a second one, okay? You can eat it if
And
you
now you
want
can
it,
eat
right?
fruit mints.
So the point is, if you can discipline yourself in small things, you can then discipline yourself in bigger things. Make sense? Because you build the confidence, you demonstrated to yourself
You get
and to
it.
others, I can wait. I can work for it. If you just pulled up here and rolled and said, Mr. Allen, I want my diploma and I want it now, right? I really, really want it, right? And no matter how much you beg, Mr. Allen is not going to give it to you because you have to earn it, right? That diploma means something. It means you've got an education. You know how to study. You know how to work for something, right? That's why an employer wants to hire you when you have a diploma. If it was just mail order and you could get it, it would mean nothing, right? Just a piece of paper. See what I'm saying? So this is the opportunity. So, look, what is an addiction? Here's a good definition. A reoccurring urge, write this in your books, okay? A reoccurring urge for something that you can't control. Right? Flip that over. Too far. There you go. Okay. So a reoccurring urge for something you can't control. Who should be in control of your life? You or the addiction? You. But some people, they give control of their life away. Because they wanted whatever it was, they wanted it so bad, they wanted it now. And they got addicted to it. Okay? So there's two kinds of addictions for humans. There's chemical and drug addictions, where it's a dangerous kind of drug where your brain, it messes with your brain chemistry, so the brain wants it, right? And when the brain doesn't get this new chemical, doesn't know really what to do with it, it goes into convulsions, all right? So that's why drug addicts have such a problem. They get so fixated, they're looking for the next drug fix. because they don't want to go into convulsions, right? But the other kind is just habit. It's just something that you like to have. Your favorite TV show. You know, maybe you got a game that you like to play, right? Whatever. But if you get addicted where you can't stop, right? They call you for dinner. Hey, you know, we got steak. Yeah. Oh, I gotta get to the next level. If you start begging, I gotta just do one more thing, right? You're demonstrating that you don't have self-control, right? You can't stop it. So this is the danger area, right? So we're having a little fun with this, okay? Because we like to learn and have fun in the process. So I need everyone to stand up, and we're gonna kind of test a little bit of our bad habits. So everyone, if you would stand up for a moment, I'm gonna throw out some common bad habits that people have, right? And if we can get, Mr. Allen, can you participate with us? All right. Because as amazing as Mr. Allen is, he's human, right? All right.
Yeah.
Bullets may bounce off him, but, you know, we all have the same challenges. So, I'm going to throw out some. If you hear your bad habit that's hard for you to control, resist, you're going to sit down and then stay seated, okay? For the rest of the exercise. All right. First one I'm going to throw out is phone addiction. You got to have your phone. When it beeps, you got to see who it is. All right, see, Dakota's really honest, right? Okay. So she's got a little bit of phone addiction going on. Okay, she takes ownership of it. That's the first step, right? All right, how about spending addiction, shopping addiction? You go to the store, you got to buy stuff, right? There's Evan. Okay, good. How about computer game addiction? You start playing your game, and you want to get to the next level, and the next level, and then you become proud of that. Okay, once you're down, Evan, just stay down. Okay, you're stretched. Okay. So, do you have a problem with addiction to computer games, where you're really not noticing the time, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you know, so much time has passed. All right. Any other computer game addictions? Okay, so far. All right. How about TV addiction? Or Netflix, or YouTube, where you get watching and then you can't stop. You want to see the next one, right?
YouTube
Your
Reels?
binge.
Reels?
Yeah,
The
also,
Reels?
the YouTube Shorts are kind of interesting. So
Yes.
we don't have TV right now. But how about
Sugar addiction.
Miss Debbie?
Yep.
She is sweets,
Sweet.
chocoholic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say that.
It's hard to say no when someone offers you chocolate. You're gonna take it, right? Okay.
Okay. Watching,
How about sports addiction?
watching sports.
Watching sports where like you gotta see the ninth inning, even though it's late, you're staying up late, you know, with the Super Bowl, whatever, okay, see? So like, I wanna see the ninth inning, right? I could just catch the score in the morning, but no, I gotta see how did it happen and all that kind of stuff, right? So kind of addicted to it. Alright, Noe, what's a bad habit for you? What's something hard for you to say no to? Okay, so you love to work, and then you'll keep working, and people have to tell you to stop working, and you still want to keep going? All right. So that could be workaholism, right? You ever heard that, a workaholic? They're so committed to
There's no
work,
balance.
which initially would be good, but it gets out of balance, and then it affects parts of their life. Okay, so Noah's got that.
Some of the kids yesterday said they slept too much.
Sleeping too
Sleeping
much,
in,
right?
right.
How about procrastination, right? We could go on and on, right? But the point is, we're all human. We all have some habits that we know we should work on. But the first step to take control is to admit it, right? If you can't admit it, you can't fix a problem you don't have, all right? So, with this in mind, we have to know what our limits are. You have to prepare. If you know something's tempting, you prepare proactively so you can handle it, right? Don't get too close to it. Don't, you know, like if you're going to go to the store, you know, Evan might say, you know, I'm not going to take any money with me. I'm just going to look and maybe spend a little time with my friends, right? Because I'm not going to buy anything today, right? Whatever it is, right? You proactively plan your strategy so you can stop, right? Or maybe you're going to do something on the internet, but you set your alarm for 30 minutes. Hey, I'm just going to rest. I've been working hard. Take 30 minutes to relax, doing something, but at 30 minutes when the alarm goes off, I can stop, right? See, then who's in control? You are. See the difference? But when you can't stop, you can't control, you don't have a strategy, that's when we get into trouble. So again, the approach is, who do I want to be? Someone in control. I know what my priorities are, so I use my time and my resources, my money wisely, and then I have the things in life. I earn the things in life that are going to mean something to me, right? So when Evan is a neurosurgeon, right, and you need some help, we're going to look up Evan, right? Yeah. Miss Debbie had a schwannoma tumor, And we went to all these doctors, and we finally found the best doctor, the head of neurosurgery at Tampa General. And long story short, when we sent him our information, I kind of really had to put an appeal of what we've gone through. He gave up his last day of surgery, bumped everyone down, and put Debbie in. And after 6 hours of surgery, he said, I am glad that I did this because this was not easy. So that was a blessing.
If we didn't get that tumor out, I could have ended up paralyzed.
Yeah, she was,
Paralyzed.
yeah, she couldn't, I was having
There
to
was a
take
month
care of
I
her like she
couldn't
was a
walk.
senior citizen, right? So, the point is this is the opportunity, okay? Be, do, have. Staying in control, right? Staying focused on your future. So if you've got this vision now, you did with your SMART goal, and you're ready to live it, you're excited about your future, right? But if someone starts to fall into pleasure, right? Hey, I just want to feel good now. I want to feel good every now. Is that possible? No, but some people, their life's not doing so good, and they want to escape from it, right? And so they start seeking pleasure. And that pleasure starts to take over their lives to the point where it even diminishes their vision. Do you know someone like that? That's what drug addiction can do. It takes over so much of their life that they can't even focus on important things anymore. All they're thinking about is, when is my next fix? How am I going to get it? Who, if I run out of money, who am I going to get it from? You know, am I going to, get my family involved? Am I going to steal it? I mean, just all sorts of the bad things. 'Cause once you got to have it, you just can't make good decisions anymore, right? It takes over your life. This is very tragic, right? So, the reactive approach is, if I am in the habit of wanting things now, right? I gotta have it, then I do things to get it, and end up being addicted, right? I end up being in debt, or I end up worse than that, right? So, this is where the slippery slope. Manage small things well and build your confidence to the big things, right? So people don't become addicts overnight, right? It's a slippery slope of small decisions that start to build into bigger things until it's out of control, okay? So, the habit again, you have to have the desire that my life, I'm deciding it. I can't blame anyone else, but usually people with addictions, they will blame someone. Mom, dad, teacher, they'll blame Mr. Allen even. If they find someone to blame, they'll find someone to take the responsibility they should have been taking themselves. See what I'm saying? So, they don't want to know how to improve. They don't want to know. They want to stay addicted, right? You talk to people smoking. They know that it's harmful to them, but oh well, yeah, I'm just a smoker. Don't accept that, right? You've just bought into your addiction, right? Then you're going to keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to end up with the consequences, right? Bad habits versus good habits. Who's in control? Hopefully you are, right? So, what happens? We are designed to attach. So if you get in the habit of attaching to healthy reality in your life, I prepare and I'm successful in what I do. That builds my confidence, builds my joy, right? Pleasure shouldn't come from immediate, it's from the result of doing good things, right? I'm pleased with my career, right? So like Mr. Allen, he's pleased when he helps you guys prepare for your future. It makes him feel good, right? Because he's doing something constructive, right? But if you're not willing to attach to good things in your reality, then you're going to fall into fantasy world, right? And our friend Bob Bradshaw, now he's 80, so it's like, okay, he's lived a good life and he's a good guy. But boy, that baseball fantasy thing, he'll talk your ear off.
He will. He will.
I said, Bob, I got to get back to the real world. So this is where risk is, all right? So what does this look like? Well, believe it or not, our bodies are designed to reinforce the good things in your life, okay? Yeah. So Miss Debbie's got a handout for you here. So these are natural chemicals in your brain, okay? Dopamine. You ever heard of dopamine? It's a positive chemical, okay? Our neurosurgeon knows all about this, right? Endorphins, right? They kind of reduce, if you have any pain, inflammation in your body, they make you feel better, right? Oxytocin, right? It's a hormone that helps you to feel good with other people. And then serotonin is a good mood manager, So when you do the right things, like for instance, if you achieve a goal, your brain releases dopamine. You don't have to program it to do it, it's natural. So when you accomplish something, you notice how, hey, that felt great. Or you get a task done. Check that off the list. People love to have lists to check off because they're releasing dopamine. Right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Right? Some people don't realize they just discovered that they feel good when they do it, right? Or endorphins, they exercise. Some people love to work out, right? And you get endorphins from it, right? And that reinforces you're doing something your body's designed for, right? We need exercise, right? Or maybe laughter. You know people that love to laugh, right? That's a good thing, right? You're releasing positive chemicals, in this case endorphins, you feel good. That's why often we love comedians that are funny and hopefully clean, right? But you know, they get you laughing, they get releasing endorphins. That's why you want to listen to the comedian, right? Oxytocin, when you help other people, right? You notice when you help people, you feel good about it? It's the way your brain's designed, right? You help other people, you feel good. You're going to do it again, right? Serotonin, get outside. So part of the problem with the COVID, right? We were stuck inside, especially people up north. They have seasonal disorders. You know, they stay inside when it's cold, right? In the short days, they don't get enough serotonin. And Evan can tell you, that's not good. You're going to get depressed. You're going to start getting negative chemicals taking over your body because you're not getting enough serotonin. Now, when you're out in the sun, you also get vitamin D, right? So that's a hormone that releases, again, vitamin D in your immune system. It helps you to feel healthier, right? So how about be out in nature? So do you ever had your parents tell you, go outside, or they kick you outside or something? They're not being mean, right? It's because it's healthy for you, right? Now maybe they want to take a break from you too, I don't know. But it's a win-win, right? Because you want to get outside and you want to have that nature. So Miss Debbie and I, we moved out to the country. We're riding our bikes now. We've got some cows that apparently like us to stop and feed them, right? And you're petting them, right? So you pet animals. All these are things your body's designed to respond positively to, right? But if you don't do these things, some people say, oh, working towards goals, that's too much effort, right? Completing a task, do I really have to? Exercise, do I have to get hot and sweaty? You know, right? They just want it now, right? And if you want it now, you're then not using your body, right? You're not using the way your natural chemicals, because all these have no negative side effects. There's no addiction to it, right? Evan can tell you. It's released in quantities that are natural for your body to handle, right? So there's no overdosing on dopamine and endorphins, right? Your body regulates it, okay? So this is all healthy living. Now, my 10th grade chemistry teacher, Mr. Watson, told me, you have all the chemicals in your body, at the highest high and the lowest low. He didn't go into the detail, but I kind of bought into what he was saying, right? But we're giving you the real facts, right? And Evan can back us up, right? He knows this stuff, right? So this is the way you're designed. But if people don't want to work with the design of their body, they want it when? Now, right? They don't want to earn it naturally. They start taking drugs, right? And so the substance abuse survey that they did because of COVID and everything, they noticed that people that start using alcohol, and then they want to use marijuana, and those are gateways to then more drugs. The pleasure, you got to have more to get that high, whatever. And it's a slippery slope, right? The more you do the stuff, the more you become depressed. You say, well, wait a second, Mr. Kane, you drink alcohol, you feel good in the moment. But alcohol is a depressant. Marijuana is a depressant. You notice the people that do a lot of marijuana, they don't feel like doing anything. They become really lazy. So they're not willing to put the effort in because this chemical is actually interfering with their ability to make good choices, right? So all of this builds up and causes people to be depressed. What's the result of that? Well, unfortunately, it can lead to suicide rates that are going up because people are doing more of this stuff. It's not the way your body was designed. Make your life so good, you don't have to escape from it, right? So people that are suicide, it's because things are out of control. They want to give up. I can't handle life anymore, right? They've done that kind of to themselves, unfortunately, right? But we can help them. But if you allow them to go down this track, it becomes more and more of a serious problem. Mental health is a big deal now these days, right? And you may have friends, you may have family members that are struggling with this, right? So they need professional help, but they also need to change their lifestyle. They need to change the way they're working because it's setting themselves up for this. So, in your book, in your handout there are short-term negative effects to marijuana and long-term negative effects. Now remember, your frontal lobe doesn't develop to what age? 25. So right now, your body's still developing. So these drugs, these artificial things that the body doesn't know what to do with, is hurting your body. You might say, oh, that's okay, whatever, I don't believe in that stuff. Wait, medical marijuana, isn't that good for you? No. Medical marijuana is for people that are having terrible pain, they're sick, they're dying, right? So it's trying to help them through that. But you're healthy, so you don't need to do that to your body, right? Because how much you worth? Priceless. When something's priceless, you take care of it, right? You don't let your body get destroyed. You don't let your brain chemicals get messed up with, right? So, guess what's happening though? Here's Skittles, candy, all right, that's sugar, that's not always the best thing for you, right? But guess what? It looks like Skittles, right? Oh, but wait, it says medicated. That's THC, that's right, the edibles, right? And if you have these, it's a crime to have them, right? It's a felony. Selling, exchanging, and being in possession. P. Diddy, we're finding out he's done all sorts of bad stuff, right?
Well, hold on, stop fighting. His drug mule was arrested.
Yeah.
Felony, he had these edibles.
Yeah.
They're illegal.
Yep.
And he had cocaine. He
Yeah.
was arrested on 2 felonies.
Yeah. So here's this guy making
What
all
was
this
the
money,
evidence?
but guess what? The money didn't fill the void in his life, did it, right? So he's trying to do all this other stuff.
Not
And you get caught in this lifestyle, right? It's sad, right? It's sad. But this is what's happening. So the problem is they're trying to package it now so that it looks
Kids.
like it's okay. And it's attracting younger and younger kids where it's affecting their bodies, it's affecting their decisions, it's affecting their lives.
And some elementary kids have ended up in the emergency room because the kids bring them from home, they already get candy.
Because they eat them like candy, it doesn't affect like right away, it takes a little longer to absorb, so also they get really sick, right?
It's like 5 minutes.
Exactly, yeah. So I went to college at Cornell, and what happened? Freshman orientation, right? You're meeting new students. My roommate Jim Page and I went down to the orientation party, right? And they've got punch. You have something to drink while you're meeting people, right? I tasted the punch, and it was awful. I went back to the prep room, and Evan remembers where it was going. There was Gilby's gin. They were spiking the punch, right? Now again, in New York, the legal drinking age was 21. We're all younger than that. So I asked the RA, the resident assistant who was running the party, I said, why are you spiking her punch? That's illegal. Oh, that's college. You'll get used to it. I said, well, could you at least give us a choice? Give us a regular punch and a spike punch? And she looked at me like I had 3 heads. So I went out to Jim, my roommate, and said, Jim, they're spiking the punch and we don't get a choice. And it was a defining moment because our values kicked in, right? What are we going to do? We walked out of that party and we walked out of that college lifestyle. I'm paying for my education. I want to get something out of it. I'm not going to get caught up in all that. Now, I did join a fraternity because I'm in a big family and there's people being around. But their parties that they had, they would drink and drugs and all that, right? And guess what the next morning? Oh man, they're all sitting next to toilets and they're vomiting and stuff. And I'm looking at that now. I don't know exactly how that feels, but it was nasty. So the choice that I made was to be free from all that, right? I was the designated driver, right? I made sure that people were safe because people trusted me, right? I had one of the fraternity brothers came up to me in the kitchen and said, Jeff, I noticed you're not drinking any alcohol. I said, yeah, I don't need it. I know how to have fun with people, right? Use my own body, chemicals. He said, I think I'm an alcoholic. The guy was only a sophomore, right? And so his name is Dean Price. And I said, so Dean, I'm so sorry. He said, could you help me? I said, sure, Dean, what can I do? Can I hang with you? And I'll have like a soft drink like you are, because you seem to be doing fine. If I can hang with you, I'm gonna feel comfortable. I said, Dean, you can hang with me, right? And so not only my choice helped myself, but it helped other people around me, right? So as a leader, that's what you do, right? You find the right path, you get onto it, and other people will start joining in. This is serious. This is the packaging. It looks attractive, right? But it's not.
Marketing for
It
kids.
is dangerous stuff. Now you add fentanyl that's coming over the border, put a little fentanyl in any of the stuff, and that can be a death right there. Just a little bit of fentanyl. tragic. So you don't want to be anywhere near this
If you
kind of
touch
lifestyle.
fentanyl, you can be
Right.
sick.
Now people will pressure you. They'll want you to join in, right? Because misery loves company, right? So I'm getting drunk. Well, I'll get drunk with you, right? We'll have fun. It's not fun, right? But this is what's going on. This is the choices you've got to make. You got to be proactively prepared. Got to be educated. You got to know yourself, or you go down the slippery slope. Okay?
And the
No.
new side, I didn't know about this until recently I read that there's a side effect of taking too much marijuana is vomiting. You're vomiting and screaming at the same time.
It's
It's something
nasty.
that
It can be
the
nasty.
neurons your brain does.
Yeah. These things, what they do to your brain. You know, we thought being a
Not yet,
pathological
not yet.
liar was bad, right? Because it
Not yet.
rearranges packets of
Yeah.
information.
Down
This
the road.
just totally
It
messes
messes your brain.
with your brain
neurons.
chemistry, right?
Mhm.
So, now there's another addiction people fall into, wanting to belong and fit in. Remember, we told you, you're leaders,
So
you don't
drugs,
need to fit in.
gangs.
Some people are desperate to fit in, right? There's two kinds of gangs. Criminal gangs, people that have gone to jail, they've done some crime, they come out, they don't want to go back to jail. So what do? They recruit kids your age and tempt with money and, shoes and
Yeah.
phones and whatever it is, and getting them to belong. And even like the orientation of some of these gangs, like Latin Kings,
3 minutes.
is dangerous, right?
The beach up for 3 minutes.
Beat you up for 3 minutes. I mean, that can be deadly. But once you get caught in a gang, it's hard to
Can't
get
get
out. Because they'll pressure, take control of your life, right? Who should be in control of your life? You. Do not give that up to a gang, right? Gangs will hold parties and get people to come, and then they give them all these drugs and alcohol, they get drunk, and then they have them doing sex, and then they record it, and then they blackmail. I mean, it's awful stuff. You just don't want to be in those environments. Now, there's another kind of gang, and you think it's less harmful, right? Cool gangs. I just want to be liked, I want to be popular, right? Remember we say it's not important to be popular? Remember that? You want to be doing the right thing, not just being popular. But popular is, if that's what they want, to belong, then what do? Well, to be popular, you have to show you're not the other people, the non-cool people. So what do? They bully them, they make fun of them. They wouldn't normally make fun of people, but they have to do that to be in the cool, to prove they're a cool gang, right? So cool gangs produce a lot of collateral damage around them, right? Because people are bullied around them, and of course they're fake, they're phony, right? I gotta be cool. What does that mean, right? Is it cool to not get your education? Is it cool to hurt other people? So these are gangs. Be a part of a team. Teams have a constructive purpose, right? You're building your skills, you're learning how to work as a team to win games and stuff, to be constructive.
It could be a musical band.
Right.
That works to
Gangs have a negative purpose, right? Teams good, gangs bad, right? My marriage, Mr. Allen's marriage, we're not gangs. We're not a gang of two here to beat you up, right? We are a married team, right? We're a team to help you be successful in life, right? You can trust that, right? So do you see the difference? But people want to belong, and they'll start going down the path of the immediate gratification of being accepted in, and then they get stuck, all right? So what then happens? Well, now another addiction, gun violence, okay? So here this goes. We've had all sorts of shootings here in the news, right? This is in your book here. You can write this down if you want. One student, again, killed students here at Heath High School in 97. What's the backstory? The shooter enjoyed violent video games and had been a target of bullies and suffered thus from a variety of diagnosed illnesses as a result of that, right? All right, here's another one. Columbine in Colorado, 1999, 2 students. Shooting, killing people up, bringing guns on. What was their backstory? They enjoyed playing violent video games. They were often bullied, right? Another one, Sandy Hook, right? Elementary in Connecticut. A 20-year-old, okay, lost in their lives, doing terrible things, spent a lot of time in their basement playing a wide variety of video games, was a loner, right, and known for mental illness issues. Fascinating with mass shootings, right? Got caught up in that. And then Parkside here in Florida on Valentine's Day in 2018. Can you believe it's been 6 years, right? And this guy, again, killed people. The shooter spent long hours playing violent video games. He was an unpopular kid who suffered from depression, right? So these shootings are happening, right? What's going on? So they tried to do some analysis, right? They said, what's going on in the United States compared to like other countries, okay? So they did a 10-year study. And in that 10-year study, since 2009 to 2019, only 2 school shootings in all of Canada for 10 years. 2 in France, 1 in Germany, 0 in Japan, 0 Italy, 0 UK. How many in the United States? 288. You see, there's something wrong, right? Something's going on here that's different than these other cultures. So they say, oh, maybe it's just 10 bad years. We just got caught in a bad, decade, right? Well, they did a trend analysis. Okay, United States is the blue line. Is it getting better or worse? It's getting worse, right? So it's not just 10 bad years. There's something going on that we can try to understand. And guess what the pattern is? Kids that are bullied heavily, right? They get angry, right? They get depressed. It's not pleasant, right? We've all probably been a bully. There's bullies in the adult world. Mr. Allen can tell you that too, right? You have to handle difficult people. But if you don't know how to handle it, your anger, you escape from it. And they go into these fantasy computer games, right? Where they start shooting up people and they get points for it, right? It sucks them in, right? To this violence using guns, right? But it's fantasy. They think, oh, well, that's not real. But then these people start to realize in this fantasy, guns have power, right? Ooh. So if I'm being bullied and guns have power, I can then start to fantasize about revenge on the bullies, right? Those 288 shootings, all of them, there were warning signs that these people were losing touch with reality. They started to get fascinated with guns, right? But no one did anything, right? Oh, that's not my business. I don't need to be involved in that, right? And they let these people go off the deep end, right? And so, what can you do? Well, the first thing is we got to stop the bullying, right? Stop damaging people, because everyone's priceless, right? So all we have to do is say, hey, we don't do that here, right? And usually people will back off from the bullying, right? They mean someone's got to stand up, all right? Usually it's not that hard, but sometimes it does take more. Or if you see someone isolated, someone sitting by themselves, what can you do? Go be a friend, right? Just sit over there. Don't let people get isolated. That's when they start to lose track of fantasy versus reality. And if they start talking about guns and rifles, right? Don't play along with it, because they're testing you. They're testing out their fantasy, right? So if they say, wow, I got this really cool gun, say, hey, you don't want to, you're going hunting, whatever, that's fine. But you don't need to be thinking about guns on a daily basis, right? That's not where your focus should be. What do you want to be someday? I want to be a neurosurgeon, right? You're not going to use guns in the operating room, right? That's not how we fix people, right? So when people start to brag about it, they're testing you. If you play along, they'll think, oh, I guess it's okay. But you say, hey, don't mess, those are going to get you in big trouble. You shake them out of their fantasy back to reality, right? You got to keep people in reality before they do terrible things, right? So there's actually a hotline, no joke hotline, you can report. You're not getting people in trouble, you're getting them the help they need. They're having mental illness issues, right? They're broken, they need help. So what do? You invite people to be part of teams, right? You form a team, whether it's sports, whether it's a club, music, right? You got band, whatever it is, right? You can start to form positive purposes to get together with your friends. So guess what? That's being a hero, right? When you're helping other people, and guess what you're going to do? You're going to release oxytocin, right? It feels good when you organize good things, right? Organize bad things, your chemicals are not going to help you with that, right? You're going to end up being depressed, okay? So, people that think they're drinking alcohol and doing these drugs to feel good, it actually makes them worse. That's why they have to have more and more to try to get the good feeling back. They're just destroying themselves. So in our program, once you finish the program, you can be a mentor for summer camp, right? And you can take the anti-bullying pledge, right? You're going to say, hey, I'm going to make sure that I can stop bullying, address it, right? It takes one person just to say, hey, we don't do that here, right? You're taking leadership. So Malik is one of our students, started in middle school at Stewart. Now he's at Middleton. He's been our summer camp, one of our great mentors for summer camp. And of course, he's getting awards for it. He's getting scholarships. All sorts of great things are coming from it. It's all good, right?
Kids love him too.
So the principle of success, people don't plan to fail, but what? They fail to plan. They let themselves get sucked in to these negative behaviors, these addictions, they're not in control of their life, right? It's sad, right? But that is reality. Make your reality so good you don't have to escape from it, right? So, again, we want to control, be in the mode to fix your bad habits. Maybe just little things here and there can help you continue to make progress, right? So you're building your confidence that you can say no. All right? So, is this luck? Is it just bad luck or good luck? It's not a shake of the dice, right? But if you get into crisis management mode and you make mistakes, you're going to be creating bad luck in your life. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? But if you build this approach, you're managing yourself, you're being healthy, you're going to create good luck, right? But again, it's not a shake of the dice, it's the product of your good choices. And that's why we're sharing this with you here. That's why Mr. Allen's here to help us, right? This is so important to the rest of your life. And if you share this with others, that's going to be even better, right? So, we've got a friend, Derek. He has a testimony of what it's like to go down that path of addiction. And when we told him we're going to be teaching this here, he said, I'd like to record my testimony for you. Would you like to listen to this? This is real life, his experience, all right?
He's a successful reeler.
Yeah,
Hello,
he's
Jeff and
great,
Debbie,
yeah.
young adults. My name is Derek. Jeff and Debbie asked me to share a little bit of my story, my testimony on why I don't participate with drugs and alcohol anymore, which was not the case for most of my life. I'll tell you how it started for me. I always wanted to feel different for some reason, or I wanted to try to fit in, and in doing so, when at 12 or 13 years old, I started smoking cigarettes. I started to use other tobacco products. That progressed to when I was 14 to start drinking. When I did these things, I wanted to do it again. Even though a lot of times I would feel sick from doing them. I would smoke a cigarette, feel sick. I would chew tobacco, feel sick. I would drink and feel very sick because I did drink a lot when I would drink. And even though I did those things and they made me feel sick, for some reason I just wanted to continue doing them. And it was either the crowd that I was hanging out with, or again that I just wanted to feel different, or just kind of felt like I didn't fit in anywhere. And that progressed into me smoking marijuana or weed or pot or whatever you call it these days. I ended up smoking pretty much every single day through my high school years, and I also would drink as much as possible when I could. And I didn't excel much in school. I wasn't really interested.
No surprise, right?
Attribute that to being preoccupied with drugs and alcohol. I did play a lot of sports. I did excel in sports. I actually got a scholarship to college for tennis. And the thing is that when I left for college, most of it was paid for, which my parents were very happy about. But unfortunately, when I got there, because of my drinking and drug usage, I ended up failing out within the first year. Now, I don't have many regrets in my life, but to ruin an opportunity like that to get high or to get drunk, looking back, is just not something that I wish I would have done. Let's just say that. I moved back home, to Florida, and my drug and alcohol usage progressed from there. What became, or what was something that was fun to me, and I was smoking pot and having fun and giggling, and then I would drink and I would have a good time, and let me not say that I didn't have great times. I did when I was doing a lot of these things. But the thing is that looking back, it didn't add anything to my life. Right now, I live an incredible, fulfilling life. I have more fun than I've ever had in my life, and it has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol. There's nothing that drugs and alcohol can add to my life. And so, the other thing that I want to impress on you is that today I have peace of mind. And what I mean by that is that when I would drink or do drugs, I always was wondering, okay, am I going to get caught? Why do I feel so bad? And when am I going to feel better? Who's going to find out? There was always something that was a negative that was attached to me doing these things. And they always say, what goes up must come down. Well, if I'm getting high and I'm getting drunk and I'm on this extreme high sometimes, well, it's going to be the opposite effect. And so, I try to limit those things in my life these days. I just try to have like a even, easy, even keel life. That's what I really try to do today, and that's what gives me peace of mind. It progressed into even worse things. I ended up going to jail quite a few times because of my alcohol consumption and my drug usage. It took me to places that I never thought I would be. And I think starting out, you think, oh, this is pretty innocent. I'm young, and that, that's in a sense true. But where it could lead to is much more than that. And I've done pretty much every single drug that you can think of. I don't say that to brag. I say that I've tried them all. There is nothing that, again, that drugs and alcohol can add to my life. I don't have to worry about if I'm going to go to jail. I don't have to worry about what my family's going to think. I don't have to worry about what my friends are going to think. And, I know, in high school that, I was running with certain crowds and I wanted to fit in. And, you always hear, even me growing up, and I think we'll always hear it about peer pressure, right? And like, what are my friends doing? What am I going to look like? The thing is that, looking back, looking back, that was really dumb for me to do things because other people were doing them. Because, if you progress to where I progressed with addiction, then what you end up seeing are usually three things. Either you see the person going to jail, you see the person getting put in an institution like a drug or alcohol rehabilitation center, and the last thing you see is death. And the first two, that those are kind of like normal things. People obviously live through them because they're not death. But the dying part never dawned on me. Like it never, like if somebody, like I did have friends that were young that died because of alcohol consumption, and it didn't bother me at all. Like I just didn't, it didn't make me think any differently. It didn't make me want to do differently. It didn't. It was of no consequence to me. But as you get older, those things start to kind of, you start to think about those a little bit more. And I've been to jails, I've been to institutions. And so, there's only one thing left that could happen with me, because I don't want to go to jail again. I don't want to go to another institution. The institution was great for what it did for me, but the thing is that the truth of the matter is there's no reason for it. And I don't mean there's no reason for those places. I mean there's no reason to get there. There's no reason to have to go there if you can just stop. Now I'm part of a program that I go to, and I go on a daily basis. It's a great spiritual program for me that I love, and I go there because I want to, and I also feel that I need to. But there's a lot of different ways to stop. There's a lot of different ways to not continue on a certain path, or to never get into that path. And I don't know what that path is for you, if that's an issue for you. Obviously, Jeff and Debbie are a great resource, and they can connect you with other great resources. But the path that I chose works for me, and I've been able to stay sober for quite a while. And again, I just want to impress on you that there's nothing that would entice me to go back and do the things that I used to do. The peace of mind that I have is greater. It's greater to me than anything else that anything can add to my life. Drugs and alcohol can't do that. In fact, it steals my peace of mind. Again, as I said before, I start thinking, okay, what's going to happen to me? Who have I hurt? When I drank, I felt horrible after. It wasn't do anything for me. And today, like I said, I have peace of mind. I have a great relationship with my parents. I have a great relationship with my son. I have a great relationship with friends. it's just where I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, because that's what this can lead to. That's what any type of drug use or alcohol usage can lead to. And so, again, I just want to impress on all of you that it's not needed. If you need help, get help. It's out there. Don't be scared to ask for help. That can definitely hurt in the long run. It's much better to go ahead and ask somebody and tell somebody that you need some help in your life. And I've continued to do that in many aspects of my life, and it's worked out very, very well. People like to help other people, and it feels good to do so. And now, that's why I'm speaking with you today. I speak in treatment centers, I speak in other places, because I want to pass this on to other people. We talk about in the groups that I go to, if we could just have, if we had glasses on, and we could just take those glasses off and put it on you for a minute so you could see the joy, the love, the serenity that life can bring by living this way of life without, living the life without drugs and alcohol, that if you got a glimpse of that, then I don't think you'd ever want to touch it again. So I want to thank you again for your time today. I really appreciate it. This helps me just as much as I hope that it helps you. And God bless you all. Thanks.
All right. So you notice, does he seem joyful now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But he's telling you a life that was pretty bad, and he didn't even tell you all of it, right? Because he has a son. What did his addictions do to his marriage? Divorce. Ruined everything in his life until he realized he was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now his life is great. He's been able to restore many things, but not everything, right? So if you don't have to go through all that, why would you? So being in a family of 7 kids, remember I told you I was the middle child, watched my little brothers and sisters make mistakes, I made a decision at a young age. If I'm going to make a mistake, it's going to be a unique mistake. If I can learn from other people, that's great. I don't have to go through all the pain, right? So this is the opportunity. To be a leader means you educate yourself, you learn the consequences, and you make good choices. So not only did it help me in college, right? I got my degree and great success in my life as a professional and everything, but also went to the doctor recently, okay? And I'm 63 years old, okay? So I'm a little older in life, right? So the doctor checks to see if everything's still working, my liver. He said, Jeff, your liver is pristine. It's like a 14-year-old, right? Because I didn't have alcohol ruining my liver, right? You ever heard of cirrhosis of the liver, right? Alcohol will ruin your liver. Now, why is your liver important?
Regulates your blood.
It regulates your blood, thank you, and your immune system. So I'm rarely sick because of that choice that I made years ago at your age, right? Has paid off for a lifetime in so many ways, right? So we want to give you the opportunity to say, do I want to go down that path and have to suffer all that, or do I just want to get on a good path to my wonderful straight line to my future? We've given you enough tools in this class to be able to understand that. So what we've put in front of you here is a pledge, all right? This is an opportunity to say today, right? Not going to put it off to tomorrow or next year, next week, is to take the challenge, right? So there's 5 things here. Say, I'm going to resist the temptation for immediate gratification, right? I can work for things that are good. 2, I'm going to say no to someone who tries to reel me in, right? I'm not going to be pressured to make bad choices. Number 3, I'm going to encourage someone else. So if you have someone, a friend, you care about them, and if they're willing to listen, you can share what we've just given you. I wish I had all this information. I was still able to make a good decision, but I didn't fully know why. You read what we've just given to you now, it's like it's a no-brainer, right? Do I want to go down the suffering, or do I want to have a good life? Gee, that's not really tough, but it's a decision that will change your life. Number 4, prioritize then using your goals and dreams to motivate yourself, right? To make good decisions, to stay on track. And then 5, why have we tried to get you to a mentor? Because having someone who can hold you accountable, help you right through some of the challenging decisions will help fail-safe you, right, from doing something stupid. So if you'd like to print your name up at top and you'd like to sign it here, we have a GPS challenge coin, not available in any store, right? And you will get this here today. This can go in your wallet, in your pocket. it's a reminder, right? I'm going to make good choices in my life. I'm going to stay focused on my future. I want to have a great life. So you want to think about that. If you want to sign it on the way out, give that to us. And then, of course, we also have your teaching sheets because you can teach what you've learned. We've given you a lot of information, right? This is a golden opportunity here. All right, there you go. Andrew, there you go. Noe, glad you're here today. There you go. All right. So, pulling this all together, here's the last thing, just to emphasize that you can make good choices that can change the direction of your life. You can say no to drugs and alcohol. You can teach it to other people, right? So, starting today, right? Teach before you go to bed so you don't lose any of this information. The last thing to put in perspective is needs versus wants, right? What is something that you need to have to survive? Isaiah, what would be one thing you need to have? Water, correct. Evan, what else do you need? Needs don't go away, you have to have it. Food, correct. Christopher, what do you need?
Water?
Water, food, what else?
Oh, oxygen.
Oxygen, I highly recommend it, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, Andrew, what else do you need?
Need?
Yeah, you need to have it to live, right?
What are you wearing?
That's a necessity.
Right, you can't live without it.
What are you wearing?
Investment? Yeah.
Oh,
Finances, you need to have a reasonable amount of money, right? Noe, what else do you need? Shelter, correct.
sure.
Dakota? Clothing, education, these are things you need. Everything else is a want, right? Do you have to have the wants? No. You can make wise decisions about them, okay? So, if you put it in perspective, do you need drugs?
No.
No! You have all the drugs in your body to have the highest highs, lowest low. They're in you, right? You don't need the artificial stuff and all the negativity. Would you agree, Isaiah?
Uh-huh.
Right. So put it into perspective. So on your teaching sheet, real quick, what are the 3 T's? You got to manage your time, temptation,
and
treasure,
Oh,
addiction,
yeah.
a reoccurring urge for something you can't control. What are the 2 kinds of addictions?
Criminal.
Chemical,
Chemical,
which might be criminal.
which can be, right?
Yeah.
And habits, right? So guys, we have given you
So proud
the
of y'all.
tools, amazing amount, and I thank you for your attention. I thank you for wanting to know what's going to help you be successful in life. And again, Mr. Allen can answer any other questions you might have about this stuff because he wants you to have a successful career. This stuff, if you don't manage it, will ruin your career opportunities, right? So, thank you so much for coming. On your way out, tell me one thing you learned, and we've got, I think, Twizzlers, right? Or peppermint.
Or peppermints.
Specific, measurable,